In the territories of Issachar, Asher, Manasseh was given Bashan and its dependent towns, Ibleam and its dependent towns, inhabitants of Dor and its dependent towns, inhabitants of Endor and its dependent towns, inhabitants of Taanach and its dependent towns, and the inhabitants of Megiddo and its dependent towns, 3 of the heights. But the descendants of Manasseh were not able to take possession of these cities. The Canaanites persisted in this land. When the Israelites grew strong, they subjected the Canaanites to forced labor, but they did not drive them out entirely. The descendants of Joseph said to Joshua, "Why have you given us as an inheritance only one lot and only one allotment? We are a numerous people, for Jehovah has blessed us until now." Joshua replied to them, "If you are such a numerous people, go up to the forest and clear out a place for yourself. There in the land of Perizzites in the Rephaim, since the mountainous region is too cramped for you." Then the descendants of Joseph said, "The mountainous region is not enough for us." And all the Canaanites who are dwelling in the land of the valley have war chariots with iron sides, both those in Bashan and its dependents, and the inhabitants, and those in the valley of Jezreel. So Joshua said to those in the house of Joseph, to Ephraim and Manasseh, "You are a numerous people, and you have great power. You will not receive only one lot, but the whole mountainous region will also be yours. Although it is a forest, you will clear it, and it will be the exterminating of your territory. For you will drive away the Canaanites, even though they are strong and have war chariots with iron sides."
Thank you, Giovanni. You did an excellent job. You look like a pro, look like you've been up here 100 times before. Since this is your first talk, you're obviously working on accurate reading. I thought you did very well with that. This is on page 83 in our BE book. It tells us that we want to read aloud exactly what's on the printed page. You did that. Don't skip words. Excuse me. Ignore parts of words or exchange one word for another. You read it word for word. Did very good. Pronounced the words correctly. You had some tough words there in the beginning, and you were totally ready for it. There was no, oftentimes if we don't do that correctly, it's a distraction to the audience, and you were not a distraction in the way you were doing it. I was proud of you, the way you were pronouncing those words. Helps us to appreciate that we want to have careful and correct reading, because that's a fundamental part of conveying accurate knowledge of the Bible truth. And you did very well with that. Study number 1 on page 84. There's a box at the end, toward the end of the lesson, that deals with punctuation. And it lists the different types of punctuation, what they look like, and how we react to those punctuations. I thought you did very well with that. Period, you stop. Comma, slight pause. Exclamation point, it says you will express strong feelings and tone, and you did that. In your reading. Question marks requires that the sentence be read in somewhat higher tone or with rising inflection. Sometimes when people are reading, we can tell if there is a question mark at the end of what they're saying because of the way they say it. I thought you did very well with that. Gestures, all that was really good. So you look like a pro up here. So very good. Thank you. Now,